Okay, so on this episode, we're not going to be filming with the Camaro because I'm waiting on some parts. So I'm actually going to be uploading a video of another vehicle that I filmed before even buying this. Some of you may have spotted it in the background of the other videos. It was actually my first attempts at editing videos, so the editing and the footage may not be as good. Not that the ones with the Camaro were phenomenal, but may not be as good as it was on the Camaro. So I hope you guys enjoy it, and when we got more parts for working on the Camaro, we'll be doing more episodes on it. But for now, check out this other car. All right, let's get into it. Hey guys, so today we're going out to pick up my 1967 Dodge Coronet 440. It's 6:30 in the morning, and we're headed out to the truck right now. Already remote started it, but timed out. There we go. Times out after about 20 minutes or so. Anyway, so let's get going. Hey guys, so we're a little ways into the trip. It's 10 o'clock now. We left the house at 7, stopped and got some gas, and we're still driving. We're at exit 83, I believe. So we're gonna drive some more. See you in a bit. Okay, we're there to pick up the car. Walking up to check it out right now. All right, here it is. Walking up to check it out. Right now it's not getting spark, so I think the points are not separate enough, or they're corroded too much.
We got spark on that plug. Set it up on the intake there.
Okay. Sounds like it's trying one now, but I don't see any spark. Give me a second. Let me round it on a bolt more. Yeah, it's definitely trying like it wasn't before, so.
Well, I just pulled that plug out too.
Alright, go ahead and try that. Take two. Okay, so we couldn't get it started, so we got to try to get it down the hill and onto the trailer. But we're going to try adjusting the points real quick and see if that does it. Hopefully it does. And otherwise we gotta try to get up there. So all right, we'll see in a bit. Okay, we got it all loaded up. It was a chore and a half, but we ended up adjusting the points and got it to fire up. So they were a little stuck, not wanting to open up. Oh.
I kind of like these wheels.
Yeah, they look kind of cool on her.
Except for there's one of these spinners that's missing.
Oh, one on the other side. Yeah. Which would be easy to get.
I don't know if you can get them or not.
Yeah, hopefully. Looks pretty good.
Yeah, the everybody's red looks good with that top light.
Yeah. Alright, well, we were about to do a 6-hour drive home now. Alright, we'll see you later. Alright, so we stopped to clean the windshield and get some drinks and stuff. And I'm going to turn the camera around and show you the view of it with a little bit more distance so you can actually see it. '67 Dodge Coronet 440, super rust-free, surprisingly rust-free. Most all the trim is in the trunk. It's taken off when the epoxy primer was put on it. It's missing one of the little red stars for on the wheels up here. Needs to be hosed off and cleaned because all the pine needles and stuff and get that all out of there. This is one rust spot in the fender here. I don't know what the deal is with that, because here's the antenna hole, but whatever's going on there, that's literally about the only rust on the entire thing as far as the body goes. I'll you know, upload some more videos and more in depth how rust free the thing is. But super excited. It's got the 318 in it. Might change that out for maybe a modern Hemi, but we'll see. Might keep it original too. Anyway, yep, I'm gonna go inside and get some snacks and get back on the road. All right, we're getting back on the road, leaving the gas station now. Got about 5.5 hours to go. Here we go. We're stopping for gas again. Chains and everything are still tight. All right, we'll see you when we're getting back on the road. Going to be stripping the engine compartment so I can replace the inner fenders because they're dented up, and I like some nice new ones in there. And so I'm stripping all the wiring and getting everything cleaned out so that way I can pressure wash it. And when I get done replacing the inner fenders, I can paint it so it's at least all black like the rest of the car until I'm able to get it painted. So anyway, we're going to get started on that. So we got the wiring harness all removed. I think that's all I want to pull out for now before pressure washing it. So let's get started with that. So it's another day. It's sprinkled a little bit earlier, so everything's a little bit wet, but it's not too bad. Anyway, I'm going to be replacing these inner fenders on both sides. There's some dents and Bondo, and I don't know why in the world they tried hiding the seams with Bondo, but anyway, so we're going to get those removed, get the spot wells drilled out, need to get the fenders removed so that the weight's not hanging on them, and start working on getting these removed. All right, let's get started. Okay, so I'll show you why I'm replacing this. There's a dent here they had full of Bondo. You can see this is all full of Bondo. It's cracked. Up in here I already knocked some of this out, but I had this all full of Bondo. I'm going to replace the course or the radiator core support too, because like they welded right here for some stupid reason, and then all along what's supposed to be a seam that runs down here, they smeared Bondo to hide that seam, And then along the bottom here too, I chipped some of it out, but they tried to hide in the seam there from the factory, which there's no point in doing that. So I chipped some of the Bondo out of that as well. And you can even see down here, like this, like, why in the world? And I get it, there's a dent here and stuff that they tried hiding, but like right here, that's all Bondo. Those are two separate panels. That's where the radiator core support overlaps the inner fender. Like, I don't know if they knew what the heck they were doing, but the rest of the car's pretty solid. There's the rear footwells and the floor pan, which I'll do a video on that once I get to that point, but that's really all that needs replaced on the floor, and a lot of stuff's really solid. There's a couple of small spots in the trunk, but I mean, all this stuff's in really good condition. But we're gonna replace this. Gotta drill out the spot wells that are along here, some out here on these brace, and some here. And then this is factory piece here, whatever. There's no spot welds across here, obviously, and then there's some that run up here from the other side, and then this can be removed. So we're gonna work on getting those removed, and then I'll be replacing the radiator core support, because it's, like I said, they welded this piece, which there's no reason for that. And then down here you can see this is where it was bent from when it got hit. You can see how it's separated right there. That should be tied against it, so I'm going to be replacing that as well. But as the slightest, you know, hit, it wasn't bad at all. And then this other side, I chipped a bunch of this Bondo out too. This is the screw holes for the original fender tag. They Bondoed all this smooth, Bondoed in here and all the way down there. You know, just drill out some spot welds, do a little bit of work, you know, a day or two's worth of work, and have new ones in that aren't dented up. And you can see there's some rippling going on right there. But on this piece right here, you can see this is all dented, so we'll get that fixed. And the rest of the frame rails and stuff look really good, so get those changed out and make those nice. Remove the hood hinge there, so that's not on there, and then we can get cleaning up all that. Probably remove this horn too, because obviously it's in the way to get that all cleaned up, and then we'll get to the inner fender. All right. Okay, I'm gonna start by heating up and stripping the paint from right here so I can see these spot welds. I mean, you can kind of see them, but they're just way easier to see. There's probably some that I can't see, so doing that will reveal those. I'm gonna see if I can get the camera in a spot where you can kind of see what's going on. Okay, so got those all revealed a little bit better. As you can see, there's Bondo dust everywhere. So they're supposed to be, you can kind of vaguely see them right here. It's supposed to notch back and then go down and forward. And the person welded that together and then smeared Bondo to hide all that, and then welded down here because it, you know, you can see it's smashed a little bit, but the frame rail is fine. But this is all smashed. And so they smeared Bondo in here to hide the fact that it wasn't perfectly straight. So that's the reason we're changing it out. So let me get all the Bondo dust blown off of here, and then start spot drilling. On this one, because they welded all along that seam too, I'm just gonna have to cut this off and then do the spot welds from the other side. And then, well, since I'm replacing the radiator core support, it doesn't matter, it'll stay together. I just need to get it separated from here and then from the end of the frame rails. So let's get it blown off and then start doing all the spot welds that attach it to the near the firewall. Okay, so I'm going to use a punch to make a nice centering spot with a drill bit so that it stays centered and doesn't walk around on me. So I'm going to get those tapped and or punched, and then we'll start drilling them out. Okay, so drilling out most of the spot welds, and I gotta go back with a chisel just to make sure they're separated. and then that area over there at the bottom down here, because it's so dented along there, I can't really see the spot welds, so I'm gonna end up cutting this off, and then when I can see them better, I'll take care of that. But I just want to get this inner fender removed, so let's get started with that. I'm gonna go along with the chisel and start knocking, separating these from the bottom. You can see they're already separated. All these ones have already popped, but I'm gonna get that done. Okay, I got all the spot welds popped over here. This is the area where I got to cut, so I'm gonna get my grinder and start cutting this off. And she's freed. Ta-da! Have to go along and grind down all the other sides of the spot welds. Along here, up along here. And then I have to get this part separated. I know it's really hard to see, it's dark out here, so I'm gonna be done filming for the night. So anyway, just gotta get this piece along here and then upright. And then, like I said, I'm replacing the radiator core support, so I'm not gonna be putting it back in right away, but came out pretty easy. All right, we'll see you tomorrow. Okay, it's a new day. We're gonna get some more work done on the Coronet. I'm gonna get the fender pulled back off and start removing the grill and the bumper and everything, so I can get to the radiator core support, and then remove the hood hinge and the battery tray and the fender on the other side, so I can start working on getting the other inner fender replaced. So let's get started. So we got the front end taken off and the other fender. Now I need to remove the radiator and see what else is in the way. Then I start removing the radiator core support and the inner fender. All right, let's get started. I work on getting the area down here where they had welded it and bondoed separated from the frame rail, so that I can then get this all unattached to work my way across to be able to remove the radiator core support. So just to give you an idea on how repair job this person did. All those booger welds holding on the lower part of the radiator core support. I mean, I'm gonna have to remove all of that, figure out exactly where the end of the frame rail is and where not to cut, and just a horrible. But we'll get it all removed and new stuff in its place. See if it's just as bad. Just horrible. Anyway. Okay, so I'm going to cut this off going around here or whatever, because right now it's just too hard to determine where the end of the frame rail is, where the top of the frame rail is right here. And I can see from the backside where it is, so I'm going to guess, because they welded all along there, which hid the seam, so I can't quite find it, but I was able to see it here, and so I can go right along it, and if I get right to the top of it, I'll be able to see the two layers coming together. So anyway, let's get started with that. I can get in here a little tighter and find the exact seams where things come together, and try to get them separated so that all the old crap is off, and when I put the new stuff back on, it'll be nice and clean. Okay, so I got this part of the frame rail cleaned up pretty good. Got all the excess crap taken off of there, the Bondo, all the excess welds, and I got it separated to where the two pieces are seamed apart. And I'm going to go ahead and replace this piece. It goes from here to here and overlaps the top of the piece from here to here. I stripped all the paint and everything off there so I can see where the welds are at. And I'm going to go ahead and remove that and remake those, because you can see they're smashed down a little bit. They should be up even with the top of this. It's kind of hard to tell. This kind of curves down in there because it's when they repaired it, they did a crappy job. So I'm going to go ahead and remove all the spot welds and remove it, and then go ahead and remake them with the factory notches and hole and the notches and stuff here and here, and go ahead and replace it. So let's get started with that. Okay, so I got this other last piece off. I can remake that one too. Okay, so I'm gonna make some templates for these metal. These are two different pieces, but part of it when I cut off is still attached to that. So to get the right length, I have it right here to be able to get the fold. And I'll make it a little extra big, and then once I get it folded, I can check the fitment. I just have to make the holes to be able to mark the holes on the piece of sheet metal. And I have the little piece of the cardboard past that for the little piece that's still attached to here. And that's the length that needs to be. And then when I make the other side, I won't have to worry about that, but tracing it. And then there's a little step here for where this other piece would go underneath, so I have to put that in something and make that step anyway, so that it'll fit properly. So anyway, so got this one done. And I just got to make the other one. Alright, now it's complete with all the shapes. This was one that was already in the cardboard. I don't need it, so I'll put a X over that. I don't need that to be there. And then on this one, all the shapes are the same. Got the same curve to it right here in the template. Same notches. I won't drill the holes because I'll drill them on the other side and weld from the other side. That way it looks like a spot weld on this side, because this is the side that'll be visible. And then on this one right here, I'll drill the piece out underneath of it and weld from the underside with clamps so that it'll look like a spot weld from the top side. And that's the side that's visible. All right, perfect. Okay, so it's another day here. We're gonna work on getting the other fender removed and get some of the stuff out of the way, like the brake master cylinder, brake lines if they're in the way. Leave the power steering hooked up because I don't want the fluid going everywhere, and if I have to move it or turn the wheel, I don't want it shooting fluid everywhere. But we'll get the spot welds punched and then drilled out and start working on getting that removed. So let's get started. Okay, I got the bolts out of the brake master cylinder. Just need to disconnect the brake pedal and then I can move it to the side. All right, got the brake pedal disconnected. Gonna move this over out of the way so I can get to these spot welds back here. I'll need to remove this brake hard line bracket down here holding it because there's a spot weld just behind it. So let's get started with that. Okay, so got that all removed. Now I got to go along and clean up all this extra. I mean, you can see how thick that Bondo is that they tried to hide the seam. And get this frame rail top all cleaned up and exposed and nice and thin and straight like this one is. You gotta do that to this one. As you can see, I mean, all this is full of weld and Bondo. Get that all cleaned up so it'll look nice to accept the new piece I'm going to make for the top of this one as well, just like the other side there. Okay, so now I'm going to come in here and grind all this Bondo and stuff off of here. It might even just be weld, but the seam goes up like this wherever it comes around, and I got to reveal that to be able to get this end cap piece off. So that's what I'm working on next. I got the end of that frame rail exposed. I go through and clean up all this extra weld and stuff and get it down to where it's the actual frame rail, and then get this extra cap off here, because this piece is a welded stuff that actually slipped behind this little lip. That's part of this. You can see it on the one from the other side. It's this little lip that sticks up. It's just the reverse of that, but this piece that's in front is separate. As you can see, it's extra thick right there, so you work on that now. Okay, I'm going to drill out all the spot welds along here and get this separated so I can get this cap off. Okay, so I finished getting this side out. You can see it's nice and thin. It's not that big, thick, nasty stuff that it was. Ground out all those booger welds a lot nicer. Not all bulging out. Haven't done this one, but Gives you an idea on how nasty they are. Anyway, I'll make the templates for this side. They're the exact same. This side was a little harder to get because of the way the grinder's set up. The cutoff grinder anyway. With the shield, I couldn't get into this corner very well and couldn't get in here. So when it was coming off, it didn't come off as nice. The front one came off fine, but back here, and plus they had a bunch of welds rather than spot welds. They had big giant weld, like that whole area is a fill weld or a plug weld that they did. So I had to cut those off. But the fact that both sides are identical from the templates I made on this side, since this side came out so perfectly, this line that goes along here, with the cardboard templates, when I go to make it, I can just flip the cardboard template over and make a duplicate of it just the opposite way. When I go to fold it or do the 90-degree on it, I just bend it the opposite direction, make the same notches and everything because the notches are all identical, and then I'll have a duplicate for the other side. So anyway, I think I'm done for the night, but got both inner fenders off. Just need to grind down the spot welds that are all around, and then get this all cleaned up, get rid of the scaling surface rust that's there, and then get it sealed with some weld through copper primer, so that way when the new ones go on there and they're sandwiched together, they won't do this again. So okay, so that's it for this episode. I hope you guys like this one. On the next one, it'll probably be more on this vehicle because I'll probably still be waiting on parts, but we'll see if the parts come by then. If not, we'll be doing more on this, probably working on the end of the frame rails or rebuilding the engine. So stay tuned for the next one, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. All right, we'll see you in the next one.